That's the network code. That's y'all code.
So do you believe the sphere-shaped air is something we experience?
Olha isso. Será possível?
Eat. What don't you eat?
The number one thing that people need to understand is we need to stop eating ultra-processed food. Every Sunday, after I go to the farmer's market, I lay out all the foods and I lay it all out on my counter and I literally pray with it. This is awe-inspiring to me. This is all the atoms and the molecules that over the next week or two are going to make up my cells. They are going to become me. I am going to take on the characteristics of this food. I look at that food and if I stop and let myself trust my intuition, I know this food is healthy for me. I just know it. To answer your question, what makes me feel good? It's the freshest, most beautiful foods that I have complete and utter awe for because those molecules and atoms are going to go into my body. They're going to heal anything that's going wrong. They're going to change my gene expression. They're going to fortify my immune system. They're going to feed my microbiome, which makes 95% of my serotonin, which lets me think and have creative ideas and love my partner. It's going to be my partner and my bodies and my future children's bodies, right? I am in awe and reverence of food. I bless it because it's going to become me.
I do think you're going to change the world. I mean that.
She's gonna change the world. Clearly, Tucker Carlson knows. But Tucker Carlson, you can manifest this. You can literally uplift. You can increase the levels and cleansing of the food. You know, you just gotta pray over it. You gotta bless your food. Bless your food. Welcome back, goons. Watching Explore the Weird. We're gonna get right into it. More creepy For You page content. You know, all the things. We're gonna go through all of it.
Yeah, let's go to the mountain. Yeah.
Located in the UN building includes a map of the flat Earth.
And that, my friends, is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Just imagine, if you will, that outer space means something very, very different. That it means what it sounds like. I believe the known lands is nothing more than a prison for all of us. And when we are visited by other beings from outer space, that's all it is. Other beings coming from here and going to here. They don't have to come from fucking the stars. No, just more land out there, extraterrestrial. We've all talked about this. But just give that a thought.
Yo, that's crazy. This image was located in the UN building, and it's also their logo. And this guy's found correlations that there's another map that has other areas. We're going to keep it going.
I have ultimately closed my clinic. I have let go of my prescription capacity as a doctor. I can no longer prescribe drugs because I am convinced the only thing I can really do with a drug now is harm. There is no way that a human, myself or otherwise, is going to find a new chemical that is going to change the potential or capacity of that temple to do itself better. I just wholly now understand that to be absolutely an impossible premise because the design was so perfect at its origin. And any disease is a decrement away from that original design, not a failure of the design that now needs to be improved. We are that original design of this most complex expression of light interacting with water, interacting with protein, or the expression of building blocks of life itself. And for that, we built these temples that we call bodies, you know.
Yo, it sounds like this doctor has figured it out. He's like, hey, the system was made to keep us unhealthy, and he's doing the clinical things to make us healthy. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for exposing the truth.
98% of bacon produced in America is produced using the injection method. And what that basically means is you make a brine solution, which is your cure, right? And whether you use the uncured technique, which basically means that the sodium nitrite is derived from a natural source, generally some kind of green vegetable, mostly celery, or whether you use pink salt, which is chemical sodium nitrite. Most bacon is produced by making a brine solution and then pumping that into the pork belly. Then that can be sent to a smokehouse, which in most industrial facilities these days is actually a steamer with atomized liquid smoke. And they can still call that all naturally smoked.
So it's not even actually smoked.
No.
It's just smoke flavor.
They're not using wood in the process.
That's correct. Yeah, they're not actually burning wood, and that can be considered, at least the uncured can be considered all natural product, which is a little smoke and mirrors as far as I'm concerned.
Is that most bacon that we find in the U.S.? Is it 90% of the bacon? I mean, is that like
98% of the bacon?
98.
What the heck? I thought when it said it was smoke, they were wood being burned and then smoked in like a warehouse and then get... All right, good to know. It's not natural. None of it's natural. We gotta bless our food and uplift that levels. Gotta have healthy foods, healthy bacon.
So a lot of people ask me about the reset, why their grandfathers or their great-grandparents never talked about it, or why they didn't remember a reset. Let's go over a little bit of a timeline of events. So we have first, the Cabbage Patch Baby, or the depiction of the great repopulation effort after the reset. Farm-produced babies, farm-distributed babies. And this is why we have the common machine-produced babies and Cabbage Patch Baby. I believe this shows the old world technology of cloning. Perhaps this is why we have so many NPCs today. Perhaps the ones with no internal monologues. You know, almost half of the population. And then we have these Cabbage Patch Babies sent out on the orphan trains, as well as with the foundlings, the survivors of the reset, taken away from their families, sent to faraway lands across this realm, broken and separated from all their roots. And those Cabbage Patch kids and foundlings ultimately ended up here in the many orphan asylums, scattered throughout, especially in the new lands of America, where they were told the narrative of the new world's history, and the masses unaware of their true past, and none of their elders there to tell of it, were all that much easier to control and install the new narrative. And from the many orphan asylums, the surviving adults who did not comply with the new narrative were sent to asylums of their own. Children taken away, sent to the orphan asylums, while the adults were kept in the mental asylums. And that is how these parasites have gotten away with it. Why there are only fragments that remains of our true past. But this is just my opinion on how I think they went through the steps to erase our true history and knowledge of it. Add that and a few great fires, and the rest is history. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
What about the mud flood? It could have been... Okay, quite interesting. This guy figured it out. Hey, Cabbage Patch Kids is not just a doll that kids play with. It's a real thing that they were doing. They're growing the babies right at the... Where's Ireland? Where's Ireland? Yeah, quite interesting video. Things I want to say, but YouTube says no.
We are conditioned to fall into a hierarchy that we believe is meritorious. The best jobs go to the people with the best scores, who go to the best universities. Like, that's what I was taught. But that wasn't really the truth. The richest people weren't the smartest people. The most successful people weren't the hardest workers. And that was when, as a kid even, I started feeling like there's a forest on the other side, but all I see is this picture that doesn't seem to make sense. So then when I got to CIA, and CIA put me through their field tradecraft course, FTC, which is often referred to as the farm, what they did at the field tradecraft course is they said society is conditioned to believe a certain way because society needs to be a giant economic machine. We all live inside of a giant machine. We are conditioned through the education process, through the industrial process, through the church process, to fall into a hierarchy that we believe is meritorious, that is a meritocracy, so that hard work and obedience and loyalty gets rewarded. Because the only way that the government stays in power of a large group of people is if there's a predictable system. And since a system is really nothing more than a belief system, all you have to do to step outside of the system is stop believing or believe in a different system. So what CIA teaches us to do is find the people who question the system enough that they're open to being taught a different system. And then we teach them the system of espionage or treachery.
Yo, this guy may have just read a bunch of declassified CIA documents. I do not believe that he is a true CIA spy. CIA spies do not tell you they're CIA spies. They do not retire. You would never know that your own neighbor is working for the CIA. FBI, they'll tell you everything. They'll tell you, hey, I'm an FBI agent. CIA, it's not the same. They usually have a cover. There's no way that they would let this guy come out and be like, I'm a CIA spy. It just doesn't work like that. Hey, Goons, how's it going? Did you interact with the video? TV gang, you slacking again. You slack again. Come on now. Stop eating. Start interacting.
Did you know that parasites can actually alter your mood?
I've had patients who are young people, young guys. I remember they got really sick with parasites. And the one parasite that we found was that one's in canines. Like, do you guys have dogs? Right. And they're like, oh yeah, they let them lick them all around their mouth and kiss them, and so they have it. So with that, guys, with parasite cleansing, when you take the herbs, the mood does change. And the reason being is because they produce tons of toxins. And one of the main toxins, or a few of them, are called phenolic acids. These are all fancy words, but they're chemical toxins that you find in a lot of our plastics, a lot of our chemical plants. So they produce the same type of reaction in you, and they'll fry your nerves, and they will change a person, especially on new moons, lunar phases, and high pressure changes, and a person can go into ADD, bipolar anxiety, because it triggers their genetics.
Wow.
With their dopamine and serotonin levels being.
What the heck? This literally went from, hey, does your dog lick you? Oh my god, their dogs do a lot of things. There's a lot of TikTok girls that try to be dogs and get licked by dogs, and it's just the weirdest thing. I'm like, why are you showing TikToks where you're like making out with the dog? This don't make sense. No, that's just love, they said. They love the dog. All right, stop trying to be this turned into something else. We're gonna keep it going.
What's good, family? Where would history be if all the books were burned and there were only coins to remember the past? I want to compare a series of coins to see if they speak like books. This coin shows a face illuminated like a sun. Below is a mirror or shield with light rays passing through. The date could say I-669. This coin has the same image as the last, except the sun has struck the mirror or shield. Look at the date. Is that I/1, like the year 1? In the sky on this coin, you can see a being in a cloud, and they have an arrow in a hand, pointed downward. Below there is a field on fire. There's 2 people on a chariot and 2 horses running in front of them. This coin has the same image as the last, except there's a line coming from the cloud to the fields, like as if the arrow caused the fire. The date on this coin could say J689. So far, without a book, the coins show a being with a illuminated face in the cloud attacking. On this coin, there is a being in the cloud destroying the land. It doesn't have an arrow this time. Family, all I'm doing is comparing coins.
Yo, what the heck kind of coins are these? And are those really I's and J's and forward slashes, or is it just 1669? You know, I'm like, yo, are we stretching? Are we stretching? Yo, those images be crazy. Those images be crazy.
You don't get sick because you're getting older. You don't get sick because you have a bad gene. You get sick because your body has lost the nutrients it needs to stay healthy, period. Linus Pauling said, you can trace the genesis of every disease to mineral deficiencies, period. You run out of calcium and magnesium, you get high blood pressure, you get low back pain, you get an arthritic problem. You run out of copper, you get hemorrhoids, varicose veins, or aortic aneurysm. You run out of vanadium and chromium, you get blood sugar abnormalities, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, syndrome X, insulin resistance syndrome, whatever you want to call it. You run out of multiple nutrients, you develop uncontrolled food cravings and become obese. This is not your grandfather's Geritol. This is science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, and interestingly enough, we offer it up for the masses. You need to educate yourself, ladies and gentlemen, about what you can do right now to support your body's built-in God-given ability to fix itself, because your medical doctor does not believe in that supposition.
And Professor Utonium accidentally added Syndrome X, and thus the Goons were born. Hey, Goons, how's it going? Yeah. All right.
Actually, a study that shows
eating organic food, so basically removing glyphosate from your food, because organic is not bougie, it's just without the glyphosate, right?
There we go.
For 3 to 5 days only, that small window can reduce the circulating pesticides in your blood 80 to 90%. So let's say I've been eating conventional food my whole pregnancy. I'm now 5 months pregnant, and I decide for the next 4 days to just eat all organic. I mean, what a blessing it is for the baby and all the things that are happening during this, crucial time.
Wait, I didn't learn anything from this. You literally fed your baby for 5 months with glyphosate and then 4 days off of glyphosate, and you're like, baby's good now. And all the pesticides gone. Nah, that baby may be having issues. Hey, you eat healthy. You stop doing experiments on the baby when you're pregnant. You stop it.
Check this out.
You can play with the spot. Oh, but awesome. Yeah, watch this. Just bring it over to us here. Isn't that crazy? No way!
That's a startup called Reflect Orbital, and they allow you to order sunlight at night from your phone. The way it works is that they have a bunch of mirror satellites in space, and when you order light, they just redirect the light from the sun all the way down to your location on Earth. And it looks like this from your location. And I guess they use this to power solar farms at night, or you could maybe order it if you're lost in the forest. I feel like this video might be a fake demo. I mean, these guys had this video on YouTube 5 months ago where they did the same thing using mirrors and a balloon. But that's by far the craziest idea I've heard this year. It has to be illegal in some way, right? You can't just order sunlight on your friend's house at 3 a.m.
Bro, it's not illegal till they stop saying we can't do it. So unless the regulations come in, we just keep doing it. Hey, you got sunlight on demand. I'm thinking this is fake, though. I'm thinking this is fake. Prove it. Prove it's real. You go download the app and show it to me.
Yeah, it's not magic. Because the danger now, not the counterfeit, not so I'm not observing. I think this is good. This is the best. Try this one.
Smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The way it moves is the same. It's a magic.
Yo, this is in Egypt? Cymatics? I heard cymatics. Is this sound energy? How is this happening? Is there a fifth dimension being that is actually moving the spoons and we just can't see the fifth dimension, so we can't tell and we think it's... We're gonna keep it going.
Y'all ever see this mountain right here in Russia? Or how about this one in Italy right here? Look at it. Really nice mountain. Here's another mountain out west. Look at there. Rockin' Ranch. I like the little logo. It's pretty neat because it's right there. Now this one right here, dude, this is in Bosnia, okay? Now allegedly they started digging on this one at one point, and when they started hitting structures and rocks, they were like, whoa, 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 get out of here, get out of here. You know, kind of the Egyptians do, like, nope, close it off, too bad, go, get away. That's what I heard, allegedly, okay? Here's some more info on it. Archaeologists have found some cut stone slabs they believe to form an ancient pyramid underneath a huge Bosnian hill. So here's what it means. There's 3 others, right? You got the pyramid of the sun, the moon, and the earth, which is strange, right? Not really. For it to be there, man. 722 feet. The Great Pyramid of Egypt is only 450, so imagine how massive this is. Of course, people think, oh, it's just a mountain, man, yada, yada, yada. They've literally done thermal imaging is what they say. Then there's always the Grand Canyon, man. You know, that's the Egypt Sphinx right here. And then they say, you know, allegedly it looks like, you know, the Sphinx. I mean, take a look. It has a lot of similarities. These are all things that we should think about, man. You know, look, this is all around the world. Look at this. Russia, Argentina, Egypt. Come on, man. Like, New Zealand, like, it's pretty cool stuff, man.
Yo, that's crazy. I'm actually a believer that the Egyptians didn't just resonate in Egypt. They actually had different sects across the world, and that's why there's so many Egyptian-type stuff being found, like pyramids and sarcophaguses and hieroglyphs everywhere. This is why. They were everywhere. They were there before even us. We're going to keep it going.
Atmosphere. Atmosphere? So do you believe the sphere-shaped air is something we experience?
Why don't you explain to me what you perceive it to be?
It's your word. You said atmosphere. What do you think that means?
That is the amount of gases that are held within the Earth by gravity.
Held? Gravity doesn't hold anything. It's not a force. There's no scientific evidence of gravity.
Really?
Middle of the statement. Middle of the statement. My bad. Obviously, it's me being a dick, wanting to make a false statement, contradicting you. Obviously, that's me being a dick. No, there is no force of gravity. My bad. Still in the middle of the same sentence. Obviously, this is me being a dick. Maybe this is me interrupting you. The gravity's not a force. My bad. That's the fourth attempt. Gravity's not a force to hold gas in a sphere shape. Gravity is the bending of a conceptual medium known as pseudo-Riemannian force space-time derived in the mind's eye of Einstein in mathematics. It's a fourth-dimensional geometry. Meanwhile, in reality, we live in a three-dimensional Euclidean reality. There is no dimension of time to bend. Even if we could bend time as a dimension in a Euclidean four-space geometry, it wouldn't be a container for gas. Gas isn't held by pseudo-Riemannian force-space time bending in an Einsteinian gravitational dimension. Further to that, the notion that gas being held, i.e. gravity is a force, was debunked by Einstein 108 years ago. Mass does not attract mass, that's a Newtonian concept of gas. Pressure being held because of its weight going down towards the centre of Earth. That was superseded 108 years ago by Einstein when he developed the fourth-dimensional space-time bending, which is not a force and is definitely not a container to hold gas in a sphere shape. So your oxymoron, sphere-shaped air, is merely a begging the question fallacy to allow you to describe atmospheric conditions as based on an R value, the radius of Earth being the value that derives your refraction rate at 7/6 of the radius in sphere-shaped air. Atmo, air, sphere, a shape. Air doesn't take the shape of a sphere, it takes the shape of its containment. If the gas was in a sky vacuum, we'd have none to breathe. We'd all be dead, because gas fills space. Gravity's not a force. Bending fourth-dimensional space-time doesn't hold it in a container.
I can't tell who the dick was. They were all interrupting each other, but the guy made some interesting points. Hey, what is gravity? Einstein said he figured it out.
In the 1930s, this device was banned by the FDA. It was taken outside of the clinics in which it was used and smashed to bits. The multi-wave oscillator was invented by the Russian-French engineer George Lakhovsky. This was an extremely popular treatment during the 1930s. The Lakhovsky multi-wave oscillator consisted of a series of concentric rings or antennas attached to a high-frequency Tesla coil. When activated, the device emitted a wide spectrum of electromagnetic waves, including radio waves and infrared frequencies. According to Lakhovsky, these waves would interact with the mitochondria inside the cells of the human body, promoting health and vitality by restoring natural resonance to these cells. He claimed his device could rejuvenate cells, enhance the immune system, and even destroy cancerous growths, all by resonating cells with their natural healing frequencies. Why do you guys think this device was banned?
It was banned because it was working. That's what they do. They silence the people or the things so that way we can't alleviate from them. We can't find relief from them. They want us systematically down. They're trying to put us down. Shout out to Cool Dude. Yeah, he's actually using multi-wave oscillators to do healing. He went through a spinal injury and he went to this older tech, and he has ways that even us goons can get this tech today. So if you need that help, do let me know. DM me on Telegram at TEDIGANJA. I can get you in touch with Cool Dude, yeah, and you can try some of this yourself.
IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Write down 802.15.6. You know what that number is? That's the network code. That's y'all code that they tap into. 802.154, 802.155, and 802.156. They adhere to you using smart dust. Chemtrails. Any of y'all got cars? It's a clear day. You look at your windshield. You're like, what's all this stuff on my windshield? It won't come off. They adhere to you using smart dust and proceed to electrify the air molecules, conjuring a wireless sensor network. Networks of spatially dispersed and dedicated sensors are formed, and in a surprising twist, the towers aren't managing the networks. Your DNA is. Thanks to the enigmatic power of optogenetics. Look at the diagram.
Yo, I was a member of IEEE back when I was in college. I was an engineer. This is what we did. This is what we did. IEEE had standards and we were following them. All right, interesting. So they have standards on the proper way to get our privacy taken away, or it's already been taken away because of the smart. We're gonna keep it going.
É isso. Será possível mesmo, gente?
Wait, what was in the door? Was that a bunker? Why was he scaling the side of the Very interesting video. A lot of things. I'm ready for the dinosaurs to come back to be Jurassic World all over it. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park.
First watch this, and then we need to talk after.
The voice in your head isn't you. If you repeat the word hello now 5 times silently in your head, yeah. Okay. And everybody listening and watching, just repeat the word hello 5 times. Okay. Could you hear that? I could hear it, yeah, in my head. So if you could hear that, then that voice cannot be you. It is your voice. It belongs to you, but it's not you.
It's not me.
Yeah.
And does that mean that gives me power to ignore it?
Exactly.
Or to tell it it's wrong?
Power to ignore it.
So the majority of people who have studied this, who talk about it and write about it, are men. And what I've noticed through my studies is that every time the concept of we are not our thoughts because we can hear our thoughts comes up, we are taught to reprogram our mind, ignore the thoughts, go beyond the thoughts, dismiss the thoughts. And I feel like it's about time we add a little bit of that feminine nurturing energy to this whole we are not our thoughts theory. The reason I say feminine energy is because oftentimes little boys were taught to toughen up. Don't cry. Don't be sad. Don't be angry. Don't show your emotions and just hold it inside and ignore them. And that has been very invalidating. Any human that has been invalidated, you know how it feels to not be heard, to not be understood, to not be listened to be ignored. And it sucks through the human experience. It really sucks. Imagine right now you were going through something and you were telling me about it and I walked away and ignored you, or I completely just dismissed you and told you that you were wrong. Chances are you'd probably hate me or not want to be around me because it isn't kind. So why is it kind to do that to ourselves? To go beyond our feelings and not actually live the natural human emotion. It is never about not feeling negative emotions and not having negative thoughts. It's about how to have them. And how to have them is just to listen to them and then validate them. It's okay to have these thoughts. It's okay to feel. I'm allowed to feel. I matter. My feelings matter. My thoughts matter. You will notice an immediate decrease in the intrusive thoughts and the intrusive emotions. Ignoring a child in need will make the child scream louder. So how about we stop ignoring those pesky thoughts that don't make us feel good, and we acknowledge them, we listen to them, and then we validate them.
Yo, there was a lot of jumping around, but I'm getting it, I guess. Hey, the voice that I'm hearing... Actually, wait, what happens if you hear more than one voice? I got a crazy teddy. There are many teddies in me. There are many. But I listen to all of them. I am my decision maker. I guess I like listening to the inner monologue voice. I like the teddies. I like it. Why is this lady trying to put me down? Hey, they're trying to stop the boys from being men, and you're allowed to cry, you're allowed to have all the things. Lady, you know the things, you figured it out, thank you.
So this reverses black magic back to sender, but it doesn't give you bad karma.
magic that you've either created or brought into this cosmos. It's someone else's, and when they get it back, they're just getting their karma back early. People throw their negative energy on each other all the time subconsciously and don't even realise it. So most of the time when people argue, it's not even about what they're arguing about or what they're saying. They're literally just throwing negative energy back and forth, and so to give someone's negative energy back to them, you don't get karma for it. Basically, it's only if you actually create it. So if you don't want to give it back and you just want to delete the negative energy, this is what you do. So your finger's an extension of your nervous system. Something funny about this one is that a lot of the Italians were commenting saying, oh my gosh, we do this all the time, it wards off the evil eye. Well, I think Italians must just be onto the mudras or something, because this is a mudra. Your fingers basically are an extension of your nervous system. Each of them are channels for channeling energy. That's why it's rude to point at people, because you're channeling energy at them. If you close off all your channels and pinch your fingers together like that, and you'll see Italian people when they argue, they'll go like this, la 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 la, like that. They'll pinch their fingers together, because what happens is when you pinch your fingers together, the energy doesn't leave your channels. Doing that, energy leaves out those fingers. If you close your channels, energy can't leave from them. So if you want to delete bad energy in you, what you need to do is close both your channels on both hands, so left and right, hold them like that, and then say positive affirmations or spells that deletes negative energy, like, I instantly delete all negativity instantly. I delete all black magic in me, on me, around me, near me instantly. God, delete all black magic in me, on me, around me, near me instantly. I am the light. I am positivity. And each spell you say, because your channels are closed, the demons can't leave, so the negative energy can't leave, and so it's instantly just transmuted in you instead, and it's burnt and negated, and it doesn't exist anymore. So that's how you would delete it.
Yo, I had no idea that the rock on thing was a mudra that was given black magic energy or something. Do the thing. Close off your energies and just shake your hands repeatedly doing positive affirmations. That's it. That's all you got to do. All right, we're going to do just one more to end them all. You know who does mudras? The frickin' Bashar. Bashar, real good. Bashar's figured out all the ways.
Copper blocks radio frequencies. And what are they trying to put out all over the place? Cell phone towers, so that they can come into your home. So when you get into copper, it actually blocks radio frequencies and works to help protect the body. So if you wear copper too, it helps to protect the body too. But don't want to tell anybody that. Got to sell them some DuPont plastic instead. People who are going against it are the people to keep you sick and poisoned and just keep you in a perpetual loop. That's all it comes down to. Honestly, like everything I've realized is people just want to keep people at a low frequency, not teach them about copper, not teach them about any of that stuff. It just keeps them in this perpetual loop of sickness. And I've had people who've reached out, they have taken copper and wrapped, for example, their arm, and all of their inflammation in their arm has gone away. It's cost like $2. They didn't have to take any weird inflammation pills that came with like 10,000 side effects, including none of that. All they had to do was get a little copper and then just wrap that area that they were feeling the inflammation, or their body sending out a signal that's saying there's a lot of inflammation and pain and too much electricity in this area, and the copper helps ground that and balance it out.
Okay, very interesting. I love copper as well. Moscow Mule's real good. But the frequencies that the towers, they're already close to all of us, so I think privacy's already... All right, you guys made it to the end. How'd you do? There's a lot of crazy videos in this that really make you think. Are you spiraling? Are you spiraling like me? Don't worry, let me do the spiraling, you just do the watching. There should be videos on the screen right now. Click on either one of them, continue the goon fix. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye!
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.